You look at the systolic right here. Again, that's the pressure against the artery walls, and the diastolic is what is released in between beats. So it's when it's relaxing. And this diagram here actually shows the difference here. On the right side, you've got your normal sized artery. And as we get older, things do change, and the artery walls do kind of condense in a little bit, depending on plaque, stiffness of arteries, things like that. So one of the questions people ask, why blood pressure is measured in mm or Hg? The abbreviation mmHg means millimeter. Most of us know that. Or it's millimeters of mercury, mm for millimeters of mercury. Mercury was used in the first accurate pressure gauges, and it's still used in medicine today as a standard unit of measurement for pressure. So ME stands for millimeters of mercury. Nobody's going to quiz you on that one, believe me. But I wanted to let you know what that meant. All right. So pulse versus blood pressure. Okay. BP is the force of blood. It's the force of blood moving through your blood vessels. Okay. Heart rate is the number of times your heart rate beats per minute. So the question is, does blood pressure increase your heart rate? Oh, I guess we cheated here, but the answer is right here. It doesn't. Heart rate and blood pressure do not necessarily increase at the same rate. A rising heart rate does not cause your blood pressure to increase at the same rate. Even though your heart is beating more times a minute, healthy blood vessels dilate, or basically get larger, to allow more blood to flow through more easily. When you exercise, your heart speeds up, so more blood can reach your muscles. It may be possible for your heart rate to double safely, while your blood pressure may respond only increasing a modest amount. So when you look at blood pressure versus pulse pressure, there's definitely a difference. So some symptoms when you're exercising are not feeling good. Well, if your pulse, maybe you're fatigued, maybe you feel nausea. Your blood pressure barely shows any symptoms, just to give you an idea. And again, I'm going to send you notes after class here today, so some of this will come in your notes as well. Device used to measure heart rates, heart rate monitor. We also have some other devices here as well. And then we also have some numeric readings that we're going to get into in a minute. Okay. So heart rate versus exercise. Measure your pulse before, during, and after your exercise. All right. Some of you may have some watches that you wear, or watches, but different types of watches. There's all sorts of devices out there. It measures your pulse, but not your heart rate. Most of them. There are a few out there, not many. The best way to actually measure your heart rate is just use your fingers. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that's easy to do, just to measure on your wrist. Okay, but it's important to measure before, during, and after your exercise. Okay, so an average normal resting heart rate is around between 60 to 100 beats per minute, BPM, beats per minute. All right. So know your heart rate, know what is best for you, beats per minute. So defined is subtract your age from 220 and look for your target heart rate, which the intensity is aimed for 50 to 70%. So let's just jump into this real quickly. I think this is probably what we need to get to. So what's the best way to measure your heart rate? Well, you go to the doctor, they put the blood pressure cuff on you. It's really important if anybody has any of these devices at home. I'm just curious with the learners that we have here today, how many people actually have a blood pressure device at home? Anybody want to raise their hand or just let me know through chat? Okay. Great. Thanks for sharing, Ida. All right. So you can get these devices relatively inexpensive. You can, you can get it at any pharmacy, obviously, most grocery stores, Amazon, Walmart, Target. They're fairly inexpensive. I've seen them anywhere as low as $20 and up to $150. You can get them with a Bluetooth connection and basically just put a cuff or just wrap it around your arm and it will connect to your mobile device, your smart device, whether it's your tablet or your phone. But it's really important that you position your body correctly when you're doing your blood pressure. And don't do it when you're hurried or harassed. You need to actually, ideally, relax for about 5 minutes. Maybe do some easy breathing exercises to get yourself calmed down in a controlled manner that you're just, you're feeling relaxed. So they say about 5 minutes before you actually take your pulse rate, make sure that you've done some breathing exercises and you've calmed yourself down. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor. A lot of us, when we sit in chairs like this, we usually cross our ankles or cross our legs. Make sure your arm is comfortable, whichever arm that you choose. Most people do it on their left arm, which is closer to your heart. But make sure that the arm is comfortable and relaxed. Same with your other arm as well. And make sure you're in a comfortable chair and you're relaxed. That's the key thing. And it will vary from place to place, but it's more natural to take your blood pressure in your own home versus going to the doctor's office where we all get caught in the white coat syndrome, and that sends our blood pressure through the roof for a lot of people. Okay. Any questions on this? Make sure you're not having a conversation with anybody during this time. Just make sure you're just relaxed.
Where is heart level?
Where is heart level? You mean like, where's your heart, or in conjunction with your arm? I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Or what's the ideal heart level?
That's the question. In the picture, the one on the left with the navy blue shirt.
Yes.
His arm is a little bit bent and it looks lower than the one in the dark blue shirt. Looks like his elbow's bent and his arm is a little bit lower than the one.
Yeah.
Compared to the one in the yellow shirt. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, and it's okay. I mean, it's in reason. When you go to the doctor, they usually put you up on the table and then your arms hanging down and your feet are dangling and, you're not comfortable. It's not relaxed and your blood pressure is probably up. So that's not ideal either. But you can see that this gentleman on the left obviously looks probably pretty relaxed. He's not that much farther off than the gentleman on the right. It's just ideally the one on the right is the best, but this is